South African, a very warm welcome to you. Happy Heritage Day.
It's so lovely to be back.
We missed you.
I'm so glad to be back. I missed you guys too. And I come back and there's a whole new loft.
Don't you love what we've done with the place?
I love what you did with the place.
We moved your stuff to the basement.
Okay.
I'm just joking. We missed you, buddy. We're so happy to have you back with us.
Now, coming up on the show today, we sit down with Ghanaian rapper Obrafour, who has been praised for his lyrical prowess.
And then we've got traditional music artist and cultural historian Dizu Plaatjies, who's traveled the world sharing his cultural experiences. And on today's edition of Mommy Monday, we chat to Dr. Mantoa Modinyane, who is currently a senior lecturer and head of language studies, African language studies at UCT.
Then to top it all off, we have Kaleto Mantoa making a boerewors bazooka on this Heritage Day.
I'll just stand here.
Yeah. And just look pretty.
But you two look very pretty.
And joining us for the Woolworths Masterclass is one of South Africa's top chefs. To give you a little hint, he's the head chef at the world-renowned Hot Light Club restaurant, where you're lucky if you can get in, and you don't want to miss this class. But first on our VIP guest list is rapper Obrafour. Obrafour has carved a niche for himself as one of the hip-hop legends in Ghanaian music. Dubbed as a rap priest, he also owns his own record label, Execution Records, which is now responsible for exposing some of the freshest new talents on Ghana's music scene. Let's have a look at
Obrafour, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
2 million views.
Yeah, incredible. Wow. So the Ghanaian priest, the godfather of rap. How did your music journey start?
Well, you could call me the chief high priest of Ghanaian music. It started way back. I have jokingly said that my music inclination started from birth. I believe as a child or a kid, baby, when you are born, you cry. But mine wasn't a cry, it was singing. So I always say, yes, it started way back. The very first day I entered Earth, my point of entry, I cried, as they said, but to me, I was singing. So that
Did you throw in a bit of rap in there as well?
My mother didn't think I was singing when I came.
Then it was
Just bust around. People were like, what?
By then it was a rehearsal ground. So, but this whole thing started at age 5, when my mom used to carry me along to church and sing. My mom was an Adventist, and so every Sabbath she would do her singing. And as a little boy growing up, I inadvertently happened to sing along with her when she's at home going about her house chores.
Yeah,
and it got
beautiful.
to a time that she realized that I could sing.
Yeah.
So she tagged me along to sing at church.
This video that's racked up 3 million views on YouTube, where is it diverse? Is it from all over the continent, all over the world? Where do most of the consumers of your music come from?
Well, mostly to the Ghanaian
of course,
people, yes. But I would say this is the entire world.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube, and you know, everybody.
It's incredible.
So you've been in the industry, I suppose, professionally since the 90s. But one thing that you're notorious for is giving back and helping out lots of other young artists in the industry. Is that why you're in South Africa at the moment?
It is a part of that. I'm back on a tour. I was in the US, where I performed to my Ghanaian folks. Performed in Chicago. I performed in Virginia.
Yeah.
And, I came to Connecticut, and now I'm back here because I know my people are here.
Yeah.
So I need to.
But you're doing a series of
amazing.
talks while you're here. So
Yes,
who are you
exactly.
speaking to, and what is your message?
I'm speaking to Ghanaians and everybody, the youth especially. There are 3 major things that I want to tell everybody. That I know a lot of people, or a lot of young ones, look up to us, and they would want to come into music.
Yeah.
But then I think, for a start, everywhere, or in everything you do, first, you should have the belief. Believe in yourself and work hard at whatever you want to achieve. And then as a Christian, or some of us who believe in God, I would say pray. So 3 things.
Something interesting is that you say you pay careful attention to what words you use in your music, because you understand that words have power, because words have the ability to create worlds. I believe that. They can create your reality.
And influence.
Yeah. And what kind of words are you careful not to use, actually?
Well, growing up, my mom told me that speech is an art. And more so, one always have to be very careful with what comes out from you, because we would account for whatever we do here on earth. There's a day coming. So I've been very careful with the kind of words I use. And my music, it's not mainly for the youth. When I started the hip life, or what we call hip hop, we've named it, so it's called hip life in Ghana. The hip life was seen as an empty noise, where it doesn't mean anything to the elderly. So I was the one that came in, that got the elderly to listen to our kind of music that we do, because I touch on so many things, social issues, whatever. And with words, I am deep with my local language. And so I talk and the elders listen, because I use words that they are accustomed to. Yes, that is how, for me, everybody sees me as, as a deep and a very deep thinking person.
Another one of your signatures is your dreads, and I've heard that you've never cut them in your whole life.
Yes, I haven't. Whatever, with this, it doesn't have any religious
implications.
Yes, exactly. I thought when I started, back then, about 21, 22 years ago, it was a taboo to even wear dreadlocks. So I had to even leave home to start this and start my music journey. And so this dreadlocks, I thought everywhere that I walk on the surface of this earth, people should identify me as Obrafour. So yes, I wore the dreads.
We'll call you Samson and make sure you don't find a Delilah.
Thank you so much for being here today. We're looking very forward to your performance a little bit later.
So in celebration of Heritage Day, after the break, we head over to the kitchen for a tasty boerewors bazooka kota. Plus we chat to traditional music artist and cultural historian Dizu Plaatjies and reveal our top chef for today's Woolworths Masterclass.
Remember to engage with us on our social media platforms as well throughout the show, and tell us if you think millennials are embracing their heritage and history. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the official hashtag Afternoon Express, or pop over to our Facebook page and let us know how you feel.
Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on this glorious Monday, Heritage Monday. We all know that the traditional kota, all familiar with the traditional kota, my mouth's already watering. But did you know that the full loaf version is called a bazooka? So to celebrate this Heritage Day, we've added a touch of pride to make boerewors bazookas. You have to try this at home. SMS the keyword Clover to 33650 to get this recipe sent to you. SMSs are charged at R1.50 and free SMSs do not apply. I'm here with Chef Keleto.
How's it?
And I hope we've been braaiing.
Yes, we have.
Because it is our braai day
Of
today.
course, we have. Earlier we were braaiing. Weren't you there? I miss you.
No, I didn't get the invite, clearly.
Sorry.
You guys are having fun without me, but it's okay because you did bring the finished product.
Exactly. So let's talk about what we're going to make today. So today we've got the Olive Pride blend in studio today. So what I've got here is some onions frying off with the Olive Pride blend. So obviously it's a mixture of seed oils and extra virgin olive oil. So that brings out the flavor in your food that you're making. So we're going to be making a smear in here. So I've already sauteed my onions, kind of going golden and beautiful like that. What I'm going to add to this is just some garlic, just to give it an extra zhuzhne, some more flavor.
Yes. I mean, I think a kota is perfect for today.
Of course.
Perfect for the theme for today because I remember going to the tuck shop next door.
That nostalgia.
It's
all about that nostalgia.
Of back in the day.
Exactly. So what I'm adding here, some brown sugar and cayenne pepper to this, baby.
Yum.
Just gonna let that go a little bit.
Okay. I've always questioned when to put the sugar to give that sweet taste. I normally just, as I cook,
adjust with sugar.
Yes, adjust with sugar. Is that okay?
That's absolutely perfect. I mean, basically you can just add everything all in at once.
Okay.
And I mean, it's such a simple recipe. And with your Clover Olive Pride, you've already got that beautiful extra virgin olive oil flavor that it brings to the dish. So it just does the work for you. So what's happened here, I've just added tomatoes in here now, and I'm just going to let that reduce.
Okay, perfect.
Reduce, and once I'm done, I'm going to add, once it's reduced quite a bit, I'm going to add seasoning, salt, pepper, and fresh coriander.
Yum.
And then we have this beautiful final product here.
Gorgeous. Inside our kota, I know we've stuffed it with chips.
Yes.
I love making fried chips at home.
Yes.
And this amazing Clover extra virgin olive oil is so great because it doesn't smoke.
Exactly.
You know when you put food or in like a high...
Or when you heat it up too much and then start smoking up your kitchen.
It starts smoking up your kitchen.
This doesn't do that. So it's quite versatile. I mean, you can just make s'mores with it, you can fry in it, so it's very versatile. So as you said, we've got chips in here and I've got some cheese and I've got a mixture of barbecue sauce and peri-peri inside that I've brushed in for extra flavor. So maybe you can help me just putting some boerewors on top of there.
My favorite part.
Yes, the boerewors we bride earlier.
Yeah, without me.
You know, it's Heritage Day. We had to do it. We had to go all the way.
Yum. But I'm definitely going to dig into this, and it's going to be as if I was the braai master myself.
I mean, this is a beautiful recipe. You can share it, or you can eat it alone, you know, if that's your fancy.
I think I'm going to eat it alone. I don't think I'll be able to get through it, but I want to believe I could finish this.
Too funny. So now I've got my beautiful smear that's reduced. I've added my seasoning, coriander, and then I just spoon that over. I mean, how beautiful does that look?
And juicy too.
Exactly. So it gives your dish some extra juiciness and some deliciousness.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then we top this baby, and then the big reveal.
The cut.
The big cut. Let's do it.
I'll help you hold this together, this masterpiece together.
Okay.
Yum.
Let's go there. And voila.
Ooh. As the French say, bon appetit.
Bon appetit indeed.
Just like that. Remember to SMS the keyword Clover to 33650 if you would like a go at this recipe. And in case you've missed it, here's a quick recap with the steps.
made with love by Clover.
Wow, I'm loving this boerewors scent that's coming from you, Pali.
Right now, I'm just like, oh, yes, I smell like bride.
Boerewors perfume.
Yeah.
But, our next guest, Dizu Plaatjies, is an award-winning musician and former leader of the South African group Amampondo. With an interest in African percussion music, he's traveled to numerous countries on the continent, sharing his culture. His work challenges people to respect and conserve the traditional heritage of our people. Welcome to the Loft.
Hi, Ebon.
Happy Heritage Day.
Happy Heritage Day too.
Yeah.
Yes.
We came representing, and you? Nothing?
You know,
Where's your vibe?
You know, in so much that I feel very awkward when I see you girls wearing it because I came here early, you know, and I had all my gear, but I was turned off by some guy say that no, people are not working today. Then I went back home. And then Andile called me, then I just rushed, taking the car, coming straight.
It's fine, we love you as you are, and you look
Come
amazing.
as you are.
Okay.
So you are a cultural historian.
Yes.
Which obviously means you study the history of culture.
Yes.
That is so exciting and interesting. What made you want to go into that field of study?
You know, I love my continent, I love my people, I love my country. And I wanted to learn more. As a result, you know, instead of reading books, I always go and interview the old people. The old people are the one with history. The old people are the one that kept the history. So, unfortunately, you cannot read our history that is written by us from the books. You can only hear when you interview and talk to old people.
Yeah.
So I was very much interested of doing that. As a result, I've got so much knowledge. I've learned so much.
Wow.
This is the experience that I always share with other people.
That's amazing.
Spoken word is truly it's slowly dying, but getting those stories will never give you that same feeling as when you read it.
Exactly.
So I appreciate that fact about you. But everyone's speaking about heritage today, heritage this, heritage that. Let's first break down, what does heritage mean to you? What is heritage?
It's unfortunate that, you know, a heritage, it's supposed to be celebrated from the day one up until the last day of the year. Because as an African, we don't have no certain month or date to celebrate our heritage.
Yes.
For the mere fact that you are born in Africa, you've got to celebrate each and every day the heritage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this heritage now, once we start putting dates and months, now
Becomes tricky.
becomes tricky. In 10 years to come, children will say that, oh, we used to have heritage, you know, and all that. But now it's fading, dying out.
Yeah.
I mean, as a culturalist yourself, right?
Yes.
Let me ask first, rather than not assume. Do you subscribe to the idea that culture needs to evolve?
Yes.
And that it has to move and change and adapt itself to the times?
Exactly. For instance, if we go back, things that we used to do in the olden days are totally different from now.
Yeah.
But also, old people and myself, I'm not saying that people have to change and do the old things that we used to do, because we've got to move with times, but not forgetting where we come from and where we are going. Because that's the problem. If you don't know where you come from, definitely you won't know where you are going.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's very good that we have people that are always talking to me, because I've worked with lots and lots of, especially women. I don't know why, especially old women. You know, because women are the most people who always carry their culture.
Yeah.
Because now if our fathers have to go and seek for employment in some other places, we have to stay with the mothers. So mothers has to do all that heavy work. That is why we've learned a lot from our mothers, not more from our fathers, because mothers are always there for the children.
That's interesting. And women are seen as influencers in a household. Whatever the women influences in the household is what the prevailing
Is what will
atmosphere will be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a millennial.
Yeah.
And how do you see heritage, and what does heritage mean to you, and how much of it do you think needs to be preserved?
For me, I think it's going so much more about the aesthetic look of
Yeah.
it. You know, as soon as you have beads, automatically you're celebrating your heritage. But I think it goes so much deeper. I wish I had such a more stronger hold on my Zulu language. And my Zulu is weak. So I think, It's multi-layered. It's a multi-layered discussion. But thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's always nice to be in this afternoon express.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So celebrating Heritage Day today, we are back with the Woolworths Masterclass Series, focusing on plant-based foods. Now remember, to enter today's competition, there is a 500 Rand Woolworths voucher for grabs. But back to today's Woolworths Masterclass, this is how it works. Every week, we have a special guest chef on the show. They will receive a Woolworths mystery box filled with a whole array of plant-based products. They only have the duration of the rest of the show to put together a gourmet restaurant quality dish. Now, our second chef of the series is Freddie Dias, head chef of the award-winning restaurant, the Potluck Club. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And of course, having you here is also helping me celebrate my other half of my heritage, because you're Portuguese.
Yes.
And tell me, what is your heritage, and how have you got that influencing your work at the Potluck Club?
Well, yeah, like you said, I'm Portuguese.
But your parents were also chefs.
No, my mother owned a restaurant briefly in Joburg, little peri-peri chicken restaurant. That was actually the name. Yeah. And she had a restaurant for a brief time, but my grandfather before that had a bakery in Mozambique, and then my other grandparents, my paternal grandparents, had a restaurant as well.
Amazing.
So it's kind of in the family, but like I'm kind of the first one in my immediate family to sort of get into this kind of like.
Were you interested in it from little?
Yeah,
has it always been a gift?
It was. Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, when I was quite small, I was always interested in watching my mom cook, and like you know, I saw the importance of it, like what she did, because she also used to work full time, and then she would come home and cook for the family, and it was important to her, and we all sort of really appreciated that. And then as I got older, sort of getting exposed to like TV chefs and thinking that I was like, oh, this is pretty exciting, you know, it's kind of cool, and I just got pretty hooked, you know, on food, like quite quickly. So just something I always wanted to do.
And you got a lot of success from a very young age. Like, I mean, you went to France and worked in a Michelin star restaurant, and worked in another Michelin star restaurant in London.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky in that way. My dad always said, you know, if you're going to do something, try, you know, do it right. And like, you know, I always wanted to be, sort of my goal was always to be one of the best chefs in the world, and to be one of the best chefs, you have to kind of work for the best. So you know, when I was first starting out in my career, it was always a dream of mine to go to France. And I was quite lucky because I worked at a French restaurant in Johannesburg, Auberge Michel. And my boss was French, and I kind of told him that I wanted to work in France, and he sort of helped me get a job.
And sent you there.
And I was there for 2 years. So,
and now you work for the best in Cape Town at the Potluck Club.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my favourites. I'm obsessed with Luke Del Robertson. I'm obsessed with all of his restaurants. But I heard that the peri-peri sauce that you guys serve at Potluck Club is actually your mom's recipe.
It's based on my mother's recipe. So how that all started was, it was quite a couple of years ago. I was invited to a braai with Luke Del Roberts and Wesley Randalls and Ivor Jones.
Nice.
And like all these sort of big boys in the Cape Town industry. And I was just thinking to myself, what the hell do I bring to this braai? Like with all these guys coming there. So I just thought I'm going to do my mom's peri-peri chicken. And I made it just the way my mom taught me how to do it, and it was like a really big hit in the braai. And then we started talking about like, why don't we try to do something like this in the restaurant? And then we just like kind of evolved into this dish that we made today, and Luke and I worked on it, and
amazing.
And now it's back on the menu. So
Yay, I can't wait to try it. But also, what I love about Potluck Club is that the menu is permanently evolving. Yeah. What's new for the new spring menu?
So now we've done like quite a few changes on our menu. We've introduced like 14 new dishes, so it was quite a big change.
Yeah.
So things you can look forward to are like our prawn and crab stuffed chicken wings.
Amazing.
Just served with our homemade sriracha sauce. Or
everything potluck. Barney, girls, we're going to potluck. It has to happen. Okay, so today we've got a little challenge for you.
Okay.
Now, because you've obviously, you were raised in a kitchen that was obviously quite creative, you're going to have to get creative today because we've got a mystery box for you. Let's have a look and see what is in your magic mystery plant-based Woolworths box. And go, girls. Well, let's see.
I'm going to get a drum roll.
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Ta-da! Oh, boy.
Look at them apples.
Okay.
Well, that's a little challenge because all I can see is apples, lemon juice, goat's cheese, celery.
Mustard.
Sugar.
What are the pink things in the
Mustard
front?
seeds.
Radish.
French
Turnips.
tarragon. And these are turnips.
Turnips, yeah.
I love
Green
turnips.
apples.
Well, now you're going to need to turn it up.
You've got your work cut out for you.
Absolutely. Rather you than me.
Okay, so we're going to give Freddie some time to think about what he's going to make. And remember to enter today's Woolworths Masterclass competition on the Afternoon Express Facebook page. You can win a whopping 500 Rand Woolworths voucher. So competition closes today at 5:15 and the winner will be announced during the show. T's and C's do apply.
Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Happy Heritage Day. Now, year after year, it appears that the younger generation is losing the meaning of Heritage Day. How important is it for millennials to preserve some of the traditions that have come to make up our different cultures? We are now joined by Dr. Mantwa Mutinyane, who's also a mother, and here to discuss the importance of passing on our heritage to our children. How are you? Welcome to the Loft.
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Happy Heritage Day.
Thank you. Happy Heritage Day to you as well.
So when I hear the idea as a mother myself of passing on heritage to my children, I think to myself, oh my goodness, it's so vast. Where do I begin? So what are the cornerstones of heritage in your idea?
Well, I think the first one is language. Language embodies so much of who we are and where we come from. So it's a starting point. So to pass on our home languages to our children. So that's the first one. The second one has to do with ways of life, how we relate to other people, how children relate to elders. You know, the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. These days we don't have the space to be able to do that. So mothers individually have to take charge of what they pass on to their children.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so much has changed in our world, right? And specifically in our South African context, some of those ideas are difficult. Specifically, I'll even speak for myself and say, even the idea that it takes a village to raise a child, our times, society has become so treacherous that now we try to protect our children from the village because we feel that they're too vulnerable, that too much violence is happening. And then the other aspect of passing on heritage in the language discussion is how I feel that the schooling system is not aiding us because there are dominant languages that children are forced to learn, like English and Afrikaans, and indigenous languages fall by the wayside and are not seen as teachable in schools.
Yeah. It's a very sad situation that we find ourselves in. A week ago, I was talking on Radio Africa about the introduction of Mandarin to the already overloaded schooling syllables. At least then a week later, they announced that Kiswahili will be one of the options alongside French, German, and so on. But honestly, we have lost so much. Somebody was calling me just now, and I couldn't understand because they were not saying my name properly. So if our children cannot even say their own names, we are really losing. And that's why I'm saying I believe language is a cornerstone.
Yeah, it's a very important aspect of culture. So much so that when you speak somebody's language, they feel seen by you, they feel acknowledged, and they feel like they matter in your space. Now, you particularly have raised your children both in the US and in South Africa. How have you as a mother made sure, in your own experience, make sure that you're passing on heritage to your children?
You know, while I was still in South Africa, before we went to the US, there were so many things that I took for granted. It's only when I was in the US where I was removed from, you know, the social networks that we have back at home. When I was in the US, that's when I realized that if I don't teach my children what my parents taught me, I don't know where they are going to end up, because much of the judgments that I make today, I credit my parents. I mean, put education aside. Sometimes you really need to know where you come from, like one of the speakers said, to know where you are going. So, for example, dress codes. We know there are certain ways that our girls dress today. Sometimes I don't approve, and I'll say to my daughter, you know what, you look really nice, but I don't think it's appropriate for you to wear trousers to go to a funeral, or wear trousers to go to somebody's celebration when they have something like Mokiti, for example. So it's little things like that. It's self-respect. It's not just about, you know, it's my right, I can wear whatever I like, I can do whatever I like. And those things were particularly difficult where you have, for example, in the US, where they have access to the internet. There's so much that they get fed on the internet.
Absolutely. And I mean, the US prides itself on its idea of freedom. It's the free world. So the freedoms there are definitely way more explicit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That aspect of freedom that I really appreciated, that my children were exposed to a life elsewhere, where they are not judged because of how they look or where they come from, but they are judged based on, you know, on merit. And that's something that they have taken from the US. They are very vocal children.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were there for 7 years, and I came back with one who's 13 now. And at the time when we arrived, she was just about to turn 2. She spoke Sesotho. She spoke English. She spoke Twi because her nanny was from Ghana. So, and some Kiswahili that she picked up from the other children. So, and for me that was very important, that
Beautiful.
They know who they are, where they come from.
Yeah.
And you know, they've we've managed to keep at least that aspect of our heritage, which is
that's
language.
Absolutely beautiful, and you can definitely be proud as a mother because that's quite a feat. We're going to head over to the kitchen to see what the task at hand is doing.
And it is quite a task. We are back in the kitchen with Mr. Mozambique for the Woolworths Masterclass Chef Series. Now, I'm so excited and honoured, and if I'm honest, slightly terrified to be in the kitchen with the head chef of the Potluck Club, Chef Freddie, and he received, of course, his mystery box packed with Woolworths plant-based ingredients, and he has decided to make baked turnips with goat's cheese and an apple dressing. Yum! Ready, Freddie? Okay. I mean, where did you even think of that?
Well, I saw the turnips. I really like turnips. They were like one of my mother's favorites. She used to cook them for us all the time.
I can't even remember what the flavour of a turnip is.
Well,
what's the difference between a turnip and a radish?
They're quite similar. Turnips are quite sweet. You can actually eat them raw.
Can I have a taste?
Yeah, I love eating them raw. And
they're delicious.
When they're baby like this, they're very tender and quite sweet as well. But
this is going to be so good.
So I thought I'll bake them because they, once they bake off, they lose a little bit of that bitterness and they get a bit more sweet. And given the fact that it is Heritage Day, I suspect that many people will be braaiing today.
Yeah.
And these would be quite nice on the braai as well. You can just put them on the coals and they work quite well as well.
What, in foil? So would you put like olive oil, pop a turnip in there and throw it?
Exactly. Put them in foil and just do it like that. Or even if you're brave, when your coals have like really died down and you've just got the ash, you can put the whole thing inside the ash. And then when they come out, you just peel them and it has like a really nice ash roasted flavour.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Would this go nicely with garlic? Because let's be honest, as Portuguese, we know that our national flower is garlic.
I think, yeah, that is absolutely true. Yeah, this would go quite well with garlic. Even if you had to roast the garlic with this, and then like the garlic will go nice and sweet and that would be pretty delicious too. So
I'm so glad you let me taste this because I think there's so many uses to turnips. Like this would even be nice in a salad.
This would be lovely in a salad, yeah. If I do eat them raw, I have them in a salad. When I worked in London, we used to use these Tokyo turnips, which were these large, bright white turnips.
Yeah.
And they were super sweet, and I would just munch on them like they were apples. It was so lovely.
And what are the benefits of eating turnip? Like, are they very healthy for you?
I suspect so.
Yeah.
I think they are pretty good, pretty healthy vegetable. I mean, I've stayed pretty healthy. So I'm just going to put these in here. Can I get you to put these in the oven for me, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we have...
See how good I'm at cooking.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
So then I saw the mustard seeds. I got pretty excited about that because they are an unusual ingredient, often used in Indian cooking and things like that. Yeah. But they are really nice when you pickle them. Okay. So if they pickle them, they get.
You're going to pickle mustard seeds?
Yeah.
How on earth do you pickle? How do you pickle? I know how to pickle peppers. How do you pickle mustard seeds?
First, you have to put the stove on.
Do you that for you?
Got it.
I could work a Potluck Club.
So when they pickle, they come out like quite sweet and they pop like little caviars. It's got a really awesome texture.
Please teach me how to pickle mustard seeds.
So start off with a bit of water.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, much. And then some vinegar. So you basically want equal parts water and vinegar.
Okay.
If you can open it. So.
Yeah. Delicious. Okay, so as much water that you throw in the equal amount.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So, if you want to be specific about it, like 100 mils water, 100 mils vinegar, that kind of thing. And then, so you need to balance it out so it's not just like super sour. So you add just a bit of sugar to that.
Yeah.
So
is this the foundation to pickling anything?
Yeah. Yeah. So just water, vinegar, about 2 tablespoons of sugar should do it. Actually, a little bit more for luck. And then with anything, you always need a bit of salt.
Yeah.
And salt
is more for luck.
Yeah. Salt's the most important ingredient in the kitchen, my mother always says. So. So you bring this to the boil. It looks like quite a lot of pickling liquid, but what happens is when you put these guys in, they swell up quite a bit, and it's quite a little magic reaction that happens. They release this like gelatinous texture, and they become like gluey.
Like chia seeds almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Like
okay, gooi them in.
So they go straight in, and pickle away. This was probably a bit too much.
That is
but it'll
amazing.
work. So yeah, that's it. And then they take about, that amount will take about 10, 15 minutes.
Okay,
And,
so we'll leave that, and I'm going to leave Freddie to do his magic with these magic plant-based ingredients. Now remember, we have a 500 Rand Woolworths gift voucher to give away in today's Woolworths Masterclass competition. So go over to the Afternoon Express Facebook page and tell us what you would make with today's Woolworths Mystery Box ingredients. Competition closes today at 5:15 p.m. and the winner will be announced during the show. T's and C's apply. Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and we are back in the kitchen for the Woolworths Masterclass Chef Series, and it is smelling good. So if you've just joined us, we have Chef Freddie Dias with us in the kitchen, and he is cooking up a storm with the Woolworths Mystery Box plant-based ingredients. Okay, so we've got our mustard seeds on the boil because they're busy pickling, and then what is the next part of your recipe?
So I saw in the box goat cheese. I know it's not exactly plant-based, but I mean, I suppose you could, nowadays they make really good sort of nut alternatives.
This is my favorite thing in the world.
So goat cheese
is this the honey one or the plain one? Okay, that's the plain one. Oh, you must taste the honey one. You could literally, I mean, I have it with a spoon.
So this is what I'm actually going to do. I actually am going to add a little bit of honey to this because goat cheese and honey are like a really great combo.
What a combo.
And this is really nice and soft already. So this will work quite well. And goat cheese is my favorite cheese. I really love.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Thank the goats.
And I'm just going to add a touch of honey. I don't want it very, very sweet, but like honey and goat's cheese, it's just like...
And goat's cheese already has a nice little sweetness to it, so
and
you
a
don't
nice
need
lemony zing to it. It's just like,
best.
I don't trust people that don't like goat's cheese.
Okay, so then mix that up.
Just mix that up, and then...
Yeah.
And then, so that's pretty simple. I'm not going to like do too much to that. Just because I want that, I'm just going to give it.
And I mean, I really envy anyone at home who's coming up with their own recipes right now with what was in that mystery Woolworths box, because this is so difficult. I can't make out what you're doing, like celery, honey, goat's cheese. I mean, it's really quite difficult. But remember, if you would like the recipe for what Chef Freddie is whipping up in the kitchen, all you need to do is SMS the keyword Woolworths to 33650, and we'll send you all the details. Because then you could basically be a professional in your own kitchen, quite like our Freddie over here. Yummy. Okay, and now is it perfect? I like that you taste all your own. I'm a big taster. Not a big chef, but I'm really good at tasting.
You got to taste everything.
Yeah.
So cool. Then to the celery. I also, again, I like celery.
Love celery.
It's such a nice savoury vegetable. But it goes really well with things like turnip and goat cheese. And then I saw the apples, and apples and celery are really, really good combo together. So what I'm going to do is make a dressing with the... So what I thought about doing is making a dressing. I saw the tarragon. Tarragon is awesome. I saw the oil, the vinegar.
I've never even smelled tarragon before in my life, so I'm going to smell it now.
So...
Oh!
It's got a really nice aniseedy flavour.
Yeah,
it's really, really cool, yeah. So
what were you looking for?
I was looking, there was some mustard in there. There we go. So,
there it is.
Mustard.
Don't worry, I'm a terrible chef hand.
And there is some cider vinegar, and we got some dill as well. I saw
so
the
celery,
dill.
apple cider vinegar. This is actually going to be a very healthy dressing as well. I drink apple cider vinegar every single day. It just works with the gut. As you know, gut's the second brain.
Well,
I need one of them to work.
I figured apples may as well go with, the vinegar that it's made from. So,
what do you need help with?
So I'm just going to go ahead and make the dressing. So if you want to do this, you can get some of that oil. You can go about 100 mils of the oil.
Coconut oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 100 mils of that. So that is just for the base, for some good body, and then we want a little bit,
body.
a little bit of the olive oil just for extra flavour, so that you can just cool. There we go, excellent. Then, so when you're making dressings like this, you basically want like 2 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. So if you got about 100 mils of there,
that like. When you're having a dressing.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want it too acidic either, that like your mouth inverts. So you just want to add that much. That seems about right. About 50 mils of vinegar. And then you want
this is going to taste delicious.
You want everything to bind together. So mustard is a delicious flavour, obviously, and it's
so good.
And it emulsifies the whole dressing, so it stays together.
Okay.
And then
apple and celery and done.
So
with your tarragon.
What I was thinking, I like the texture of the apple and celery, so I'm just going to cut it up and then mix it in the dressing, so you actually bite into pieces of apple and celery. When you're doing things like that, you always have to think about textures as well.
Exactly.
So like what you want. So
this is why you're a pro. Okay, so we're going to finish this up in the ad break, and it always looks so much easier when the professionals do it, doesn't it? I can't wait to taste this, but I'm going to leave Chef Freddie to carry on cooking, and we'll be back in a little while to taste this exciting dish made with Woolworths plant-based ingredients. After the break, we announce the Woolworths competition winner, and Obrafour is gearing up to give us an exciting performance in the loft after the break.
DJ, come through, please. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, give us a track, what?
Set it up.
Can I track?
You could never be not say you're from when you're the bonnet. Ghana memo you buy and you pay contraning. So train treasure Ghana man and press morning. Kofi babone, me boko ko Johnny bonnet. Chamasa to go to nature Ghana man say munti, mini. Obrafour me wo fa hundi. From amodi momu jumedi mun kun me die. No say, young ara assassin e ya body de mayen. Mujana nanan me hwegunya de to ho mayen. Dum yen, boa yen, je yen adu. Me ne wo so say yen so be ye biato aso mu aso kata so o manyi mu de e maso ene. If you said why your mama gonna wo be ka lawyer for doctor for mommy miss anet. Baba for Roja for teacher for mommy miss a suku for Ghana rap so for me say me straight on man for when you back she say yet the fact by you we say we back for my embu kwabia sante but is the motto yam fa got to lotto man you mo frane yes munya to kwase na hompase obuni ni no more salmon for and son. You equal me from my pie, yeah. Kedian Kwame and Sam, Asuni Asase ya and Sam, and I know Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Koma pa yeah. Obin Jimmy, middle from Moisha, my field.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, the only thing left to do is announce the Woolworths Masterclass competition winner that Freddie chose based on the creativity of the entry. And the winner of our 500 Rands Woolworths voucher is... Silas Govender.
Is it
Felice?
What was the idea? Do we know what the idea was?
No.
We don't know yet.
I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to make it my mission. I haven't really been thinking about much other than those baked turnips. I'm going to turn it up. I mean, Felice, over to you.
His music transcends the borders of Ghana, having performed in Europe, the USA, and now South Africa. We have the privilege to welcome Obrafour to the loft, who's going to be performing his very newest single, Moesha, the rap priest himself.
Thank you very much.
The stage is yours. Enjoy.
That's right. I want to wish everybody a happy Heritage Day. Okay. That's right. Okay. Ekujina baby na say friend when ya de bonne Ghana memo ye buye na ye pe country ne central ne treasure Ghana man empese money Kofi babone me boko ko jane bonne Chema santu bote ne che Ghana man se muntie meni Obrafour me wo fa hudie from amodi mo mu dwumadi mu kunu medie mu se yen ara asase ni e ya bode de mayen mo jana na me hwegunya de to ho mayen tom yen jiyen adu me ne wo so se yen se be ye bia to aso mu aso kata so omanyi mu de e maso ene ebisa de waya mo magana wo beka so ya for mami misa nese for gadi for driver for mami misa fita for Kwawu tailor for mami misa baba for soldier for teacher for mami misa suku for Obrafour Ghana rap so for me se mesre Amampondo munyina munye baako fi se yete fa kan e wo ko se wi papa ne wo kan bo mo embu probe asante kotoko map mbeba is the move yemfa go to loto na yimu mo fra ne yesi munya to kwase na ho pase obuni ni de na mo koto babo chese di waja ne wonani wo kwana so aru asase so enti munya brebre ana ye me ne odia ye kan bo mo ne bi ye Kedian Kwame and Sam, Asuni Asase ya and Sam, and I know Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Koma ba yeah. Kedian Kwame and Sam, Asuni Asase ya and Sam, and I know Musama for and Sam, Yi Kwame Koma ba yeah. Yeah, the new one. Yeah, ready? Not long time ago. Still can't believe why I let you go. It was a mistake, but now I know. I am all that query. I didn't say who mama knew me. Now I know your love was so divine. Wish I could feel reverse the 100 times. Don't know what to do to bring you back. I still got love for you, that's the fact. Hey, and your memories will always be cherished. Your love keep haunting me, haunting me. I'll forever remember the good time, the way you handle me, handle me. Many will die, and so many are in our way. Make I can win the area. You're not many parts of that.
Yay, well done.
Bravo.
Oh, stunning. Wow. All right, congratulations. You are now one of my new favorite chefs. We're basically related now. We're so close.
This is extraordinary.
Thank
you. I was just saying during the break that it's so amazing that you can think on your feet like that.
Yeah,
A true artist at work, and this looks so creative, and it looks like an art piece. I kind of feel bad that we're about to dive into this.
I'm going to lick the plate.
Oh, trust me.
And these hazelnuts, do they just go on the top?
These are some hazelnuts which just add a nice little bit of richness. It's nice if you chop them up, but you could just add a little bit.
Oh, beautiful.
You've just made my Heritage Day because it's South African and Portuguese.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's lovely being back. Happy Heritage Day. Enjoy your braai. I'm going to one now.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.